When it comes to printing Warhammer, I just think this is an entertaining exercise to show what this printer can, but arguably can't, do, and it's inspired by my love for two parts of my hobby. And I'm not here to police you on the topic either, I'm not your dad. I'm Ross, and this is Warhammer Videos. So why is this printer different? Well, you've probably seen it from the thumbnail. This printer prints chocolate. So if you follow me on any social network like Facebook, Instagram or Twitter, which for now some reason is called X or Cross, I don't know, but you may have seen my recent post of a 3D printed and painted Space Marine bust. And I asked for comments and criticism, and despite a few inner circle people, nobody knew what this was from. I think that everyone expected this print was from some FDM printer, and I suppose it kind of is. The approach is the same, but instead of expunging a reel of plastic filament, this pumps out edible chocolate. And the comments on that post are absolutely hilarious. And look, I'm not here to give anyone crap. I've been guilty of looking at feedback requests on some kind of social media group and going gung-ho with my response without actually taking in any of the post at all and just looking at the image. And to be fair, the people here who did give me genuine feedback were kind of being duped by me, so please accept my apology. A good few people got straight away that it was some kind of joke, and I did lead a few people a bit further down the rabbit hole by pretending I've never heard of a liquid resin printer, or egging them on by advising that this is not a PLA print, but I also said it wasn't a resin print. So I'm sorry guys, but if you do read my original post, it has always said that my intent was to use these comments in a video. So what is the thing that does this? Well, I didn't even realise that these things existed until about 2 weeks ago, and I immediately wanted to give one a try. This is the MyCusini 2.0 chocolate printer. And despite the price point, this is a very basic piece of kit, and honestly, it needs to be. It's not aimed at 3D printing enthusiasts like myself, it's aimed at people in the kitchen who just want to add a quick and cool flourish to their creations. But once you've bought the printer, it's only €6 for a pack of 10 refills. It's super cheap to run. Well, for chocolate creations anyway. This is really for people who have a cake decorating or sweet treats side hustle, or for people who just want to have some more fun in the kitchen. But honestly, the ease of use you get from this printer would genuinely be welcome in many of my other PLA printers. This thing is quite small and compact. It takes up about as much space in my kitchen as a very large toaster. And yeah, I'm back in the kitchen for another YouTube channel video, and this is the first time since I installed my Artis Opus wall cabinets without my wife's permission. At least today I have approval to film because her and my kids get to eat the chocolate when I'm done. Now, because of the small form factor, this printer's print area is also tiny, at only 9 by 9 by 4.5 centimeters. But this thing is made for creating 3D text or simple small designs. It's not really made for models. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to push it to and even beyond its limits. Now this printer comes with a ton of preloaded designs on the SD card, and there are more available online, and yes, I've already shown you can load in your own basic STL files too via the MyCusini Club web platform, but I'll come back to all that. Your filament here is basically wrapped rolls of chocolate, or fondant probably, which you can cut in half and then are just loaded into a cartridge. The manual and on-screen UI walk you through this easily to both load and preheat the chocolate. This is so easy that I came downstairs the next morning after I got it to find my technophobe wife and daughter had printed off and ate several designs themselves, without even asking my permission to use it. Now, you can get various chocolate colours. I bought this printer myself and the most basic package. Then I bought a colour mixed chocolate pack, which includes white, milk, vegan dark, pink, blue, green and yellow. And the printer itself comes in pink, blue or grey. As previously mentioned, this is so easy to use. Just cut the chocolate rolls in half, then load them into the hopper with the metal peg side up. Load in this cartridge to its plastic housing, use the insert function on the printer, and this will move the mechanism to a location where you can easily attach and lock this in place. The printer then won't do anything until you choose print, and when you do, there's a 13-minute preheating process to run through. You can skip this and go straight to browsing files. It will continue to heat up, just make sure you give it the 13 minutes it needs, especially if using a new cartridge. But because this is chocolate, it's only heating to about 30 or 35 degrees Celsius, unlike the 200 degrees plus required on plastic printers. Once it's heated and you've chosen an object, you just press print. If it's a new roll of chocolate, you do need to press the pre-dosing button, and you need to do this repeatedly until you see the chocolate flow through smoothly, fast and consistently. You're basically just pumping any trapped air out of the cartridge. But that is literally it, it's one-click print. And you'll see on the MyCusini website, they have a success guarantee. And of course they do, as we've seen from many printer brands now, when the company who makes the printer knows exactly what material is going into the printer, they already know the best settings to guarantee success, especially when using one of their hundreds of template prints that come on the SD card. But what about printing your own files like me? Well, there's no slicer, not really. Instead they have the MyCusini Club web platform, which you can only access when you register your product's serial number. On here you can find several more templates for your printer, along with a series of services. Some of these templates and most of these services are chargeable in the form of MyCusini Club credits. You can buy these credits for your account on the website in various size packs, but there's no saving by buying larger bundles of credits. But you can also get credits with the printer, depending on what bundle you purchase, but it's not that many no matter which one you get. But there are other services like logo creation or any flat vector image to a 3D model, for example, and that's where they turn your 2D design into printable files. This will set you back 20 credits or €9.60, which isn't bad really for someone to manually turn your logo into a 3D model, and additional templates are only 1 credit each. But if you already have a 3D model, and I have loads, it's a simple case of upload it to the website and the system will turn it into a G-code file for this printer, free of charge. And this isn't a slicer like you're probably used to, it's a very basic web interface where you load in a model. You can scale it if you like and export it to make a printable file compatible with the MyCusini. This is so basic that you can't even orient the print beyond the 3 simple preset angles, but again, this is made to be very simple. There's no quality settings like speed, temperature or layer height, all of that is completely preset. Now if you can read and edit G-code you can probably tweak this manually, but that's far beyond my skill level. For me, 3D printer go brrr. But when it came to 3D printing the Space Marine, I chose the body first as this was the largest piece. But the immediate problem I had is that there just wasn't enough chocolate in one pack to print this at full scale. And on this printer there's no way to add more chocolate and press resume. When you run out of chocolate in a pack, the printing just ends, but the printer will warn you before starting every print by showing an exclamation mark that you don't have enough chocolate left in the hopper to complete the print. And there's no sensor to detect this, the printer just knows how much chocolate is in a pack and how far the plunger has pressed down into the cartridge and provides an estimate. There's often a little bit of chocolate still left in the cartridge when the printer says it's run out, but all of this is for food safety and to prevent it from trying to push the plastic wrap through the nozzle. Now when it slices your 3D objects, there's no supports either, it simply takes the base of any model and flattens it. If you have any tiny overhangs in this area, it ignores those completely. So I just put the individual models into Chitubox and Tango to reorient and slice the pieces so that the flattest surface was on the bottom, and then I uploaded them to the MyCusini website. I scaled them down to 90% so I could print all the largest parts in just one complete chocolate cartridge, and I got to work. And it is pretty fast, the body took about an hour, but the rest were relatively short prints, and when each was complete I just popped them into the fridge to cool and set. So anyway, I assembled the model by remelting parts of chocolate and just welding them together until they cooled. I tried to airbrush it using some of the cheapest food grade airbrush paints that I could find on Amazon, and I have no idea if these are good or not, but they would just bead on the surface of the chocolate, ruining the pristine surface that this printer created. And yeah, I did try white as a primer, but again the beading just ruined it. So after failing, I blew off most of the still wet paint and tried again with pure blue. Several coats got an almost passable tone, but once again that beading was terrible. And I tried painting on some gold using my Artist Opus size 5 brush the first time I've ever used it, but this just reactivated the blue, so I airbrushed where I could and then splodged on heavy layers everywhere else. And then I did some red for the eyes and reinforced the recesses in black. And here it is, the final result. Now, I'm sure you'll all agree that It's not great, but this is still better than my first ever painted miniature. And at least it's painted. A lot of you critiquing this still have piles of grey shame, so this is one step beyond that. That's progress, right? But I'm sure you've all got one burning question. How does it taste? Well, I'll be honest, my kids absolutely loved it, at least the unpainted parts anyway. I'd describe it as saying it tastes kinda like Kinder chocolate for the milk chocolate anyway. But as for the Space Marine, well, that tasted like neat food colouring. So about as good as it looks. So yeah, look, the print quality on this compared to any other 3D printer I've tested is arguably terrible. In fact, it's not arguably terrible, it's terrible. But for chocolate, it's amazing. Now, when I ordered this printer, I was genuinely worried I'd wasted my money and I wouldn't be able to print this model at all, or any decent model. So the fact that I've gotten this far has really impressed me. And look, there are enhancements it could make if people want to do this kind of thing. It would be great if we could have the ability to continue prints by loading more chocolate in, or maybe we could just get better results if the printer had some quality settings options and a fan to cool prints as it printed. But honestly, for chocolate, I am blown away by what this can do, and so is everybody else who's come round to my house recently and seen it. Every single person's been, ooh, can you print the first letter of my name, or something like that. For a cake decorating business, this is a no-brainer. It's awesome. So I want to say thanks for watching, and I hope you found that entertaining. Thanks to our YouTube channel members who you can see on the screen now. They get exclusive videos and early access to content like this, along with priority responses from me, so please consider joining them by getting your name up in the lights, just like the rest of them. Until next time, stay excellent to each other. Warhammer out.